Writing style problems, non-specific language, supplemental video. The average reader reads on a 4th to 8th grade level, which is 9 to 14 years old in the United States. This can be a problem when we use non-specific language because that creates vague sentences that the average reader has to work harder to understand. Sometimes the information is missing, sometimes the information is in a different place in the sentence than where the reader actually needs it. So we have to be clearer in our writing than we have to be in spoken language. So to continue the definition, some non-specific language implies that we should have a number. And in the real world, we should use those numbers instead of the non-specific language. Here are some examples. Few, many, several, most, some. All of these imply that we need a specific number, and so we need to change this to a number instead of using these words. Some additional words are various. Now this doesn't imply a specific number, but it does imply that there could be a number. Often we can just delete this word from the sentence, or we can change the word to different instead of various, which is less likely to call forth the notion of a specific number. Finally, soon. Soon deals with time. And when we want to know when something is due or when we will receive something, soon is not specific enough to give us the answer we need. Another type of non-specific language is reference. We want to make sure that our words are referencing the correct thing. One example of this is the word it. It is a pronoun that stands for another noun. It's taking the place of that noun. However, the it only refers to the last previous noun in the sentence. In that case, if you do refer to the correct noun, then it is fine. But if it is referring to some other noun, then you have created a case of non-specific language, and that forces the reader to work a little harder to understand your meaning. 3 other words in reference that we have to be careful of are this, those, and these. These are called demonstrative pronouns, and these demonstrative pronouns, this, those, and these, must always have a noun after them. In spoken language, we look at things or point to things in place of that noun, but on the page, in writing, on the screen, we need to have the nouns there to have our audience understand our sentences as quickly and clearly as possible. Here are some examples. First, on how to fix, you have to research to discover the specific information that you need. In the real world, you cannot make this information up, but on tests and on exercises for the classroom, you can. You rewrite the sentences with the specific information. An example here, your paycheck will be ready soon. When my paycheck account is running empty, I want my check in 10 minutes. So soon has a different meaning to me than it will have to the person writing the sentence. We need to be specific so everybody on both sides understands when the paycheck will be ready. So a good rewrite would be, your paycheck will be ready at 12 p.m. on December 10. Another example, you will receive several emails from me. If I use the word several, which is non-specific language, then you don't know how many. Am I going to send you 3, 150? What am I going to send? Now, if I use a specific number and say, you will receive 13 emails from me, you know that at number 13, you've received all you're supposed to and nothing is missing. But if you only receive 11, you can email me back and say, hey, 2 emails were missing. I'm missing some information. This way we have the clearest communication. Another example, most people think that pizza tastes good. Now, although we might all be able to argue that most people think this, we can't prove it unless we have some sort of research. And unless you are a pizza expert who has gone out and done all of the surveys and you can cite your own research on this, then you cannot claim that most people think anything. You have to give a specific number. So if you can't say 73% of people think that pizza tastes good, that's not a sentence you can claim. You must be specific and you must be accurate. So I'm taking away your padding on sentences where you want to say few people think, most people think, some people think. In those cases, you must find out who these people are and be able to tell me where the information came from and be able to give me some sort of claim for how you got that number, that concept of most or few. I need a real reference. So this is nonspecific language. You should be able to identify it and know how to fix it at this time. This ends this video.